Yeah, good morning, children. So last class we have discussed about the chromosome, chromatin network, chromosome, and what are the structure of chromosome, and I told you about how the DNA replication happens. Understood? That we have studied. So already we know the mitosis, meiosis. It is very essential to know the variations. So I told you about variation, heredity. Already we have learned these all the things or the better the basic. Understood. So and I told you about the inherited character and acquired character. So inherited character. See, character it is also called as trait. Trait. So heredity means what? It is a transfer of character from one generation to other generation. Where these characters are made or characters are designed. So our characters are designed in the DNA. In DNA, our character is decided or designed in DNA. Understood? DNA. Inside the DNA, there are small units. The small units which is responsible for the characters. Small units in the DNA which are responsible for the controlling a specific character is called as gene. Is called as gene. Means every character, a type of protein is synthesized in the DNA. In the DNA, for every character, a type of protein is synthesized by DNA. So that will control a characters. That will control a character. It is inherited character. Understood? Acquired character means what? The character which is developed in a life cycle, but it cannot be transferred from one generation to other generation. Those characters are called as what? That is called acquired character. Acquired character. I told you example, pricking of the ear, pinna. It's an acquired character. Cutting of a tail of the dog. So it is acquired character. It cannot be transferred to the next generation. But in case of say if you are male, so here they have a hairs on the ears. Some people will have that character will be transferred because it's a inherited character. Color of the eye, black. Some black will be there, brown will be there. Some are different blue color eyes will be there. That is a character. That is carried. That is carried. Diseases are carried. I told you hemophilia is a disease, bleeding disease. So clotting will never happen in some patient who has patient suffering from hemophilia. That is a genetic disease. It will be transferred from generation to generation. So like that, many examples you can see. For some people here, dimple will fall. So dimple will be there. You may be knowing that. That is also one of the character. That is also one of the character. Like that, if you see many characters will be there. All those characters are controlled by gene. Controlled by gene. Understood? Controlled by gene. So gene is what? Small units of DNA which controls the specific character of the body. Before going to the gene, should something understand about Gregor Mendel. So Gregor Mendel is a scientist, biologist who discovered, he proposed a law of inheritance. Proposed law of inheritance. Proposed law of inheritance. Law of inheritance. He was actually, this fellow was Gregor Mendel was a monk at monastery. Means actually he was a monk. He was a saint in a church, but he was more interested in the biological experiments. And biology, he was interested in biology. So he had a garden in his church. At the backyard of the church, he was having a garden. In his garden, he was growing a different type of plant. So one plant, specifically, we have to mention it here because pea plant. He experimented on the pea plant to proposal of inheritance. To proposal of inheritance, he chose the pea plant. Pea plant, ಬಟಾಣಿ ಕಾಳಿನ ಗಿಡ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅದನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ. ಇದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಈ ಲಾನ ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನ. He grow the pea plant in his garden and he observed that generation by generation there was a changes. There was a changes. He observed that changes in the plant and he started to note it down. He started to write. He started to record it. Understood? So he thought recorded. Why he chose the pea plant only? That was the reason there. Why he could have choose some other plant, no? So why he chose this plant only? Because there was a reason for that. There was reason for that. They can be grown very easily. Easily they can be grown in the open ground or in the pot. In the pot. They have more contrasting character. Contrasting character. I'll tell you what is this contrasting character. Understood? So more contrasting character. More character was there. That's why. Life cycle of these plants is very less. Life cycle is short even, very short life cycle. So if the life cycle of the plant or the animal is very long, means you cannot use it for the experimental purpose. Say COVID-19. COVID-19 is one of the disease which is troubling the whole world now. It's a pandemic disease which is troubling the whole world. So scientists are involved in the researching the vaccine for that. So a vaccine cannot be just given to the human without undergoing the test. There are series of researches done on stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5. ಈ ತರ different stages ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. It will be experimented in different thing. Animal, some smaller animals they choose and they will experiment on that. Mammals ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ because we are also mammals. So mammals ಮೇಲೆ experiment ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Then mammals ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾರು ಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So they choose the volunteers who are ready to take the vaccine. Then it will be injected to them. Then it will be observed for some days. If there is no any side effects, then the company will decide to bring it in the market. So definitely it will react. For some people it shows some adverse effect. Already you have seen in news channel later. Already people are affected by this vaccine, COVID vaccines. So that will be there. But also they bring because for some it will be having some effects. Or side effects are common in all type of vaccines or all type of medicines. Like that way. So he chose this type of plant because it's having very short life cycle. Easy to cross-pollinate and self-pollinate. It's easily we can do the cross-pollination and self-pollination. Understood? Self-pollination and cross-pollination means pollination can be easily artificially also done. Artificially also we can do the this way. More number of seeds are produced. More number of seeds are produced. More number of seeds are produced. Understood? So these are the reason why he chose the pea plant. Can be grown easily in the ground or in the pot or in the ground or in pot or in pot can be grown very easily. They have a short, more contrasting character. Contrasting character. So I tell you that. Then these plants have very short life cycle. So I did write there. Short life cycle. Usually researchers choose the plant or the animal which are having a short life cycle. That easy to cross-pollinate or self-pollinate. And artificial pollination can be done very easily. Means in case of any research, actually we only do the pollination. That's why artificial pollination also can be done easily. That's why I told you cross-pollination, self-pollination is very easy to do. And more number of seeds are produced because when you want to see the character, you will sow the seeds. More number of seeds produced means more number of plant we get, and we can see the result. We can observe the different characters. Different characters. Understood? Is it clear? So this is about the what? Well, chosen reason to choose the pea plant. Pea plant. Pea plant and yak choose model. This is the reason for choosing the pea plant. Understood? Then he started to observe the he sowed the seeds and he started to observe. And later on he started to do the cross pollination. Cross pollination start ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. After the cross pollination, what are the resultant seeds are produced? That is sown. And what type of plant is grown? That also he started to see and he started to count it. All that he started that work. Being a monk in a church, he was very interested in biological research. So later on, he was considered as father of genetics. Father of genetics. Father of genetics ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ. See, ಮೊದಲು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? See, he just recorded all the observation and he proposed the laws also. 3 laws he proposed. But other scientists, they could not understand his experiment and observation. Initially, they could not, and other scientists could not understand his contribution to the this genetics. Whatever the law proposed by him, no, he was unable to justify that. Other people were not they were not convinced by that. Later on, they were convinced, and he was considered as father of genetics. Now, what do you mean by this genetics? Genetics is a branch of science, branch of biology, which deals with the study of heredity, variations, heredity and variations. Heredity and variation. What is genetics? Genetics is the branch of biology which deals with the study of heredity, variation, and the factor responsible for the variations. So this was studied under a separate branch of biology, that is genetics, and Gregor Mendel was considered as father of genetics because of the contribution to the genetics in the form of law of inheritance. Understood? Understood? So this is about the Mendel contribution, and Mendel why he chose the pea plant for his experiment and proposed the law of inheritance. Understood? So I told you contrasting character. These plants were having some contrasting character. What is contrasting character? We'll see that. After that, we'll see some terminologies. See, first we consider length of the character, length of stem, one character. So it was having two contrasting forms. Length of character is one character and it is having two contracting form. What is that contracting form? Like so stem of the plant. Some plants are short, some plants are having a means they are high. Means length of the stem is a character and it is having a two contrasting form. One is height or that's called tall plant. Tallness ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ tallness. Another is short. So height ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಟಾಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. Understood? Then color of the seed. Yellow and green. So two color contrasting form. Then shape of seed. Shape of seed round or wrinkled. Round means the seed shape was round, exactly round. Wrinkled means like this. See. Then color of pod. Pod means I hope you have seen the ಬಟಾಣಿ ಕಾಳು ಅಥವಾ pea seeds are present like this in a fruit. As a fruit, a beans noಡಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ, beans, you have seen the beans. Inside the beans there will be seeds like this arranged one by one like that. Similarly, in the pea plant also pod will be there. This is called as pod. The pod, inside the pod there is a seeds arranged like this. Understood? If this seed shape, that's the color of the seed is like the green and yellow. Then shape of pod, you think that shape of the pod, like one more shape will be there like this. Constricted. This is inflated, constricted. See, constricted. So when this is constricted, this is inflated like this. The next one is position of the flower. Axial or terminal. Means what? So flower, this is a plant. The flower may grow in the terminal, at the end of the plant, top of the plant, or it may produce here. The flower may produce here. That is called as terminal, axial. Understood? So these are the two this thing. Is it clear? Like that, we have all type of character. These are called as contrasting character. Understood? Means this is a character and this is controlled by a gene. See, this is the character. Length of the stem is a character and it is controlled by a gene. Gene is what? Gene is a small unit of the DNA. Gene is the smallest unit of the DNA which controls a specific character in the body. In the pea plant, the length of the stem is a one character and it is controlled by a gene. Controlled by a gene. Controlled by a gene. See, length of the character. Length of stem is a character. It is controlled by a gene. This gene will have two factors, or we call it as alleles. So here one factor. Factors are alleles. So two factors will be there. Factor 1, factor 2. So every character is controlled by a gene, and that gene will have two factors. That is called as alleles. Is it clear? See, tallness of the plant is a character, and the length of the stem is a character, and the tallness is the one contracting form, and the shortness is the one contracting form. Means these are alleles. These are alleles or factors. Is it clear? So every character is controlled by a gene, and gene will have two factors. One is dominant factor, one is recessive factor. I'll tell you what is the dominant and recessive. So we'll see some of the terminologies. We'll see some of the terminologies used in the law of Mendel's law of inheritance. So in the law of inheritance, we use some of the words, terminologies. That terminology we'll see, and then we will see the law of Mendel. Till here, if you have any doubt, please let me know. Till here, if you have any doubt, please let me know. So they have given in page number 54, they have given about Gregor John Mendel. So Mendel was educated in a monastery and he went to a study on the science and mathematics at the University of Vienna. Failure in the examination for the teaching certificate did not suppress his zeal of scientific quest. He went back to his monastery and started growing peas here. Many others had studied inheritance of writing peas, the other organizer earlier. But Mendel blended his knowledge of science and mathematics, and he was good in mathematics. Remember, he was very good in mathematics. That's why he could propose the law, and was the first one to keep count on the individual exhibiting a particular trait in each generation. This helped him to arrive at the law of inheritance. So whatever the pea plant he produced, on that basis only he proposed the law of inheritance. Is it clear? Any doubt is there? If you have any doubt, sort of doubt, please ask out. Aswit Naik. What is heredity?
Method of character from one generation to another generation.
Okay. Alvit Naik, what is variation? Alvit Naik.
Sir.
What is variation?
Sir, characteristic change going on generation to generation.
Yeah, change in the characters. So generation by generation is called. It means see, we are not like our parent. Exactly similar to exactly same our parent. We are similar to our parent because some of the characters are transferred. Like that is called as variation. That's called as variation. So variation, why it is called? Due to the changes in the DNA during the cell division, a new character will be developed. That is called as variation. That's called as variation. Variations are seen mostly in sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. More of this one. See, now we'll see some of the terminologies used to study the law of inheritance. I hope you have written this. If you have not written it, so you can write it down later on by using the YouTube link which will be sent to your WhatsApp group. So if you have any sort of doubt or clarification, please call me or message me so that I can clarify your doubt. Or from tomorrow you are coming to the class. You can ask the doubt over there itself. Okay. So we'll see the terminologies. So gene, already you know what is genes. So the part of DNA is a unit of DNA where it controls the specific characters. Factors or alleles. See, factors are alleles. So I told you every character is controlled by two factors. Two factors. So those factors, the factors which control the gene, factors, the gene, the factors which control the, like one example I will give, like color of the eye. Sorry, color of the skin. Color of skin. Color of skin. See, color of the skin is a character. It is controlled by a gene having two factors. So factor 1, factor 2, or we call it as alleles. I told you already this. Alleles. So color of the skin may be fair or dark. Fair or dark. See, these are the two factors of color of skin. Either a person is fair or dark. Understood? One example I am giving you. Some are dark complexion. Some have dark complexion. Some are fair complexion. Color of the skin. So these are the two factors which control a characters. This is here. There will be dominant factor and a recessive factor. Please understand this word properly. Dominant factor and recessive factor. Dominant factor andre yavadu? See, dominant factor is the factor which will show itself, which expresses its character. It's a character. See here, like that, you think that see, like a gene is that in which two factors, both the factors are same. That is tallest factor and short factor. I am taking the stem of the height of the stem I am taking here as a character. So this gene will have two factors. One is controlling the tallness, another is controlling the shortness. Darkness is controlling. Understood? So here two factors of same character. These are the two factors of same character. Remember. So one character will be controlled by two factors, and this will have two factors. Factor T for tallness, factor T for shortness. If these two of the factors are present in the same plant, you think that two factors are present in same plant, then that plant will be tall. That plant will be tall because the tallness is dominant factor and the shortness is recessive factor. Means dominant factor expresses its character in the presence of recessive factor. Recessive factor. अर्थ आता है इधर? Have you understood this? Please reply me with your in the chat box or please raise your hands those who understood this. Okay. Okay, thank you. Every character is controlled by a gene, and that gene will have two factors. One is recessive factor, another is dominant factor. Dominant factor is a expresses its own character in the presence of recessive factor. Notice here. Here tallness factor is there and the shortness factor both are there, but the plant will be tall because the dominant factor is tallness, and tallness expresses itself, and this recessive gene, that is a T, small t, will be recessive, cannot express itself. When two factors are different, this condition is called as heterozygous condition. When two factors responsible for same characters are present, then it is called heterozygous. If two factors responsible for same character are come together, then it's called as homozygous condition. Is it clear? So when two factors controlling same character are different, then it's called a heterozygous. When two factors responsible for a same character are same, then it's called as homozygous condition. Is it clear? So already you know that during the sexual reproduction, gametes are produced. Male gamete and female gamete. Understood? So 23 chromosomes here will be there. So n number of chromosomes. Then they fuse together to form. So 23 plus 23. It becomes 46 chromosomes in case of C. So here certain chromosomes come from the female, certain chromosomes come from the male. Actually, how it will be? So one of the these factors will be one factor will come from here, one factor will come from here. In fact, so like that, when they combine, so a factor from this and factor from female will combine, and you will have a 46 set of chromosomes. Means like that characters. There are millions of characters in our body. All the factors responsible for all the factors responsible for that character will come to the offspring. Sometimes it may change also. Understood? Like that, these characters will be present in the chromosome. Understood? Some of the characters come from the male and some characters come from the female, and the offspring will have two characters of two different. But here what happens? So it may be two factors of same character, but one will show its dominancy and another will hide itself. Is ಈಗ ಒಂದ್ ಕೆಲಸ ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದು ದಪ್ಪ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹಿಂದೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ದಪ್ಪ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನ ಹಿಂದೆ ಸಣ್ಣಕ್ಕಿದ್ದವನು ನಿಲ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಸಣ್ಣಕ್ಕಿದ್ದವನು ಕಾಣುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಥವಾ ಇಬ್ರು ಜಗಳ ಆಡಕ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಫೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ಬ ವಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಒಬ್ಬ ತಳ್ಳಗೆ ಸಣ್ಣಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಬ್ರು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಫೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ದಪ್ಪ ಇದ್ದವನು ವಿನ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಆ ತಳ್ಳಿಗಿದ್ದವನು ರಿಸೆಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಟೆಮಿನಾ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಇವನ ಹತ್ರ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ಟೆಮಿನಾ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್. ಆತರ ಎರಡು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ಎರಡು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಹೋಮೋಜೈಗಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಟೂ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಹೆಟರೋಜೈಗಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So till here I hope you have understood. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Is it clear? So homozygous, heterozygous, recessive genes, dominant genes, alleles, all that. And I hope you understood these factors. These are terminologies that are used. See, a human cell is having 46 chromosomes. 46 chromosomes. That is 23 pairs. 23 pairs. 23 pairs. Like this. This is one chromosome. This is another chromosome. This is one pair. One pair. Such how much? 23 pairs will be that. 23 pairs. 23 pairs. One chromosome from father and one chromosome from mother. This is called as homologous chromosome. Homologous chromosome. How many? 23 pair of chromosome. Pair. You know what is meant by pair? Pair means two. So that is 23 to that 46 chromosomes to that 23 pairs. In that, so in one pair, one homologous chromosome, one is from parent, one is from one is from father and one is from mother. So this will actually, they are responsible to control the character. Is it clear? So till here, if you have any sort of doubt, please ask now. So these are some terminologies we used in understanding the law of inheritance. Law of inheritance. Dominant factor, recessive factor, gene, and alleles. There are two alleles in single character. In a gene, two factors will be there. So one is dominant factor, one is recessive factor. So when will show the when will the organism show the recessive character? I'll tell you, Rashmi. While teaching monohybrid cross, I'll tell you. So when it shows recessive character means when the both factors responsible for a character are same. Like that, you think that both the factors in an organism, both the shortness factor has come. Shortness has come. This is a short factor, this is also short factor. When these two factors are both same, both are recessive factors. See, recessive factor. This is both are recessive. This shows the recessive character. ಅವಾಗ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ, ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? So this is during the homozygous condition. During homozygous condition, the recessive factor shows its character. I will tell you about that. When I will be discussing the law during that time. I will tell you. So till here, if you have any doubt, Rashmi, understood? Okay. So as we go on with the laws, no, you will understand much better, much better. Till now, if you have any doubt, please let me know. Is it clear? So P plant, contrasting form ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ. Tallness, length of the plant, length of the stem is one character that is controlled by two factors. ಆ two factors ನಾವು contrasting form ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಆ P plant ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಥ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಇತ್ತು. Color of the pod, color of the seed, color of the flower, color position of the flower, then length of the stem. ಇಂಥ ತುಂಬಾ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೂ ಎರಡೆರಡು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಒಂದು ರಿಸೆಸಿವ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್. ಆ ಒಂದು ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್, ಒಂದು ರಿಸೆಸಿವ್, ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ? ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಈ ತರ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾರು? ಮ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್. So we are going to study the next part of the lesson about the law of inheritance. Law of inheritance. ಈ law of inheritance ಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, he crossed two pea plant. He crossed two pea plant. He crossed two pea plant which differ in one contrasting form. One contrasting form. ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಎರಡು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ is a character and it is controlled by two factors and two contrasting forms will be there. ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೈಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಎರಡೇ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದು. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು? ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೈಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಇದೇ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ monohybrid cross, he crossed in a monohybrid cross ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. So he made a monohybrid cross. On monohybrid cross he formulated law. First law ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ? That we'll see after. He crossed two pea plant which differ in single contrasting character. Then he crossed that pea plant. Say monohybrid cross. Again we are going to repeat tomorrow as you are coming to the school itself. So I thought of explaining when you are here in the class itself. But also I will brief you about this. So don't say monohybrid cross. A cross between two pea plant. Cross between two pea plant which differ in one contrasting form. Which differ in one contrasting form. So here on ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, he took a two pea plant which differ in two single contrasting form. So this is parent plant. This contains This contains a factor responsible for height. Here, both are capital T. Means this is a plant which is tall in tall. It is tall. Then it took it to another P plant which is having a two factors, same factors. Here, shortness factor he has taken. Shortness factor he has taken. Here, you choose a P plant which differ in two contrasting form. Tall plant, tall, and this is short or dot. So, understood? So, length of the plant is a character, and tallness and dwarf is a what? It is a factors. Understood? You think that these plant released gametes. So, you know, cross between two P plant which differ in one contrasting form ಯಾವುದು tallness and darkness ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ two factors of same character so gamete release ಆಯ್ತು so ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ gametes will have any one factor. So ಎರಡು factor ಇದೆ same factor. It is a homozygous condition or heterozygous condition? Yeah, as you guessed, it is right. It is a homozygous condition because homozygous condition when it is when two factors are responsible for same character. When two factors responsible for same character are there, it's a homozygous. Understood? So this is a homozygous parent, and it produces gametes. Gametes will have only the one factor responsible for character. Character is length of the plant is a character, and that factor is T. Tallness factor is T, and this gamete will have small t. That is the factor responsible for shortness. Understood? Both will combine. This gamete will combine, and zygote is formed. You know, zygote is formed. The zygote will have both factors now. The factor responsible for tallness and factor responsible for darkness. Both it will have. See, this is hybrid. ಇದನ್ನ first generation ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. First generation plant. First filial generation ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. First filial generation ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Filial generation ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So here the seed is produced. This plant when it grows, the plant will be tall. All plant produced from these seeds are tall. Say tall. Is tall. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Tallness ನೋಡಿ. So ಇದು ಯಾವ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್? ಇದು heterozygous condition. Heterozygous condition. ಇದು ಯಾವ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್? ಇದು homozygous condition. Homozygous parent produce heterozygous offsprings. So offsprings ಇದೊಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇದು ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. offsprings ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂಗ್ವನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. Angles. So the angle produced by this plant will have two factors responsible for the same character, or both the factors will be there. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು law ಹೇಳ್ದ, law of dominance. Law of dominance ಹೇಳ್ದ. ಈ monohybrid process ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ದ? ಒಂದು law ನ ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ, law of dominance ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. So law of dominance, what it tells? See, law of dominance states that when two factors responsible for same character, come together, one will express itself, one will suppress itself. Those factors which will express itself is called dominant factor, and those which do not expresses height itself, it's called a recessive factor. That is only called as law of dominancy. Understood? So when two factors responsible for same character come together, one factor will express its character and other will suppress. Other will be suppressed. Other will suppress its character. Suppress its characters. This is called as law of dominance. Law of dominance. If suppose question ಕೇಳಬಹುದು again. State the law of dominance by the help of monohybrid cross, or explain the monohybrid cross with a law of dominance. ಈಗ ಏನೋ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ law of dominance ಯಾವುದು ಮೂಲಕ ಎಕ್ಸ್‌ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ನಾನು monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? A cross between two pea plant with different single contrasting character. ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು, ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ದ ಟಾಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಐನು ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಐ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಇದರ ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನಾವು ಇವು ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೇಮ್ different factors, say two factor. So two factor responsible for same character, length of the plant, same character come together. One will express itself, one will suppress itself. The factor will express itself. It's called a dominant factor. The factor which suppresses itself, it's called a recessive factor. I hope you have understood now recessive and dominant factors also. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಏನು, ರೆಸೆಸಿವ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? So this is a law of dominancy. ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಾ ಇದನ್ನ? I hope you have written it. So I told you, if you have not written, I will just it will be uploaded in the YouTube in your WhatsApp group. Just copy it from there and bring this. I need the board work. Need a space for board work. You think that he took the 2p plant. Now he took the 2p plant of the first generation. First generation plant ತಗೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. He took the plant of first generation. First generation plant. As parent. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Gametes are released. Gametes will have only one factor. Always remember. The gametes always it will have one factor only. One factor of is a character. One character the one factor irthude. Remember, gametes will have only one character, one factor of one character. So this is the this is the actually heterozygous condition. Here two factors are responsible for two factors are there. One factor will come to the one gamete, another factor will go to the another gamete. Similarly here in this plant, so one factor will go to the one gamete, another factor will go to the another gamete. Is it clear? Solve those. So these are gametes. These are gametes of first generation gametes. Okay, gametes are released. So illondu law ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, law of segregation ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ. Law of segregation ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? What do you mean by segregation? Word meaning ಏನು? Jeevan Naik, what is the meaning by segregation? Dhruva, what do you mean by segregation?
So I don't know.
Don't know. Okay. Anybody who knows? Dividing. Okay. Somewhere I get dividing. Okay. Very good. Any other meaning? Siri?
Sir, same dividing.
Dividing. ಅಥವಾ ನಾ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ? ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ? Separation. Vaishnavi has given the separation. Very good. Separation is a better word. ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸುಮಾರಷ್ಟು ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ವುಡ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಐರನ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನಾವು ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟ್, ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸಪರೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ವರ್ಡ್. ಡಿವೈಡಿಂಗ್, ಸಪರೇಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಸಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡುದು, ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುದು. ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡುದು, ವುಡ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡುದು, ಐರನ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಆ ತರ ಮಾಡುದು ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟಿಂಗ್, ಲಾ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಡಿವೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಏನ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, here two factors are there responsible for same character. When two factors responsible for same character, when two different factors responsible for same character, during the they will divide, they will move to the equal they will move to the gamete in equal ratio. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, so two factors are there, two different factors of same character. Actually they move independently to the gamete, This is called as law of segregation. A pair of characters, a pair of factors responsible for same character will move independently to the gamete in equal ratio during the formation of gamete. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? During the formation of gamete, two factors responsible for same character move in an equal ratio to the gamete. That is the meaning of law of segregation. ನೋಡಿ, ಎರಡು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಎರಡು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ದೇ ಮೂವ್ ಇನ್ an equal ratio to the gametes. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಒಂದೇ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಒಂದೇ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಎರಡೆರಡು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಟಿ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಒಂದೇ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲಾ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಷನ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಲಾ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಷನ್, when two different factors of same characters will move independently to the gamete during the gamete formation. That means that both factors, that means that only one factor will be present in a single gamete. One gamete alli one factor iruttade. So one gamete will have only one factor. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು 10,000 ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಮೋರ್ ದನ್ ದಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದೊಂದು 1,000 characters are there in our body ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So think that all the factors responsible for 1,000 character will be present in gamete. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ಧ್ರುವ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತೇನೋ? ಧ್ರುವ, have you understood the concept?
Yes sir.
Yes sir. Okay. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರು ಏನೋ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿ. ಭುವನ, any doubt you have? Rashmi, Siri, Harsha, Pannaga, Santika. So if you have any doubt, please ask. Neha, so Shaman, no sir. Tejasvi Bhatt, Tejasvi, Vidya Shetty. So ಏನೋ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿ. ಪ್ರಥಮ್ ಭಟ್, ಪಂಡಿತ್, ಅಂಜಲಿ, ನಿಮೇಶ್, ಅನಿಕೇತ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? So factor responsible for same character will move separately. Will move separately during the gamete formation. Gamete formation. This is law of segregation. ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ ಬರ್ಕೊಬಿಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ. You cannot write on the board. I'll just tell you the dictate is write out. A pair of character. Sorry, a pair of factors responsible for same character. A pair of factors. A pair of factors responsible for same character. Same character. Move in a equal ratio. Move in a equal ratio. Move in a equal ratio to the gametes. To the gametes. To the gametes. During the formation of gametes. During the formation of gametes. So, two factors responsible for same character move in a equal ratio to the gametes during the formation of the gametes. Gametes ಯಾವ formation ಆಗ್ತದೆ? Meiosis ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Meiosis ಅಲ್ಲಿ gamete formation ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Meiosis ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. So ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಒಂದು ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. No way. So single gametes. In one gamete there will be no two factors responsible for same character. There can be two factors responsible for different character, but there cannot be two factors of same characters. Understood? So this gamete, you think that this gamete is fused with this gamete. So plant produces TT, capital T is a tall plant. And you think that this gamete will fuse with this gamete? The plant produces capital T, small t. This is also a tall plant because here there is a dominant gene. Capital T is a dominant gene, and this gamete will fuse with this gamete to form capital T, small t. Again, tall plant. This gamete will fuse with this gamete, and you got a homozygous condition with recessive factor. Homozygous condition with recessive factor. This is a north plant. Rashmi? Is not there in the class. Okay. So Rashmi asked one question while teaching. When she asked one question, I tell you for everyone, sir, when will organism show recessive character? ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ರೆಸೆಸಿವ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಶೋ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶೋ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಟಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಟಿ, ಎರಡು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಹೋಮೋಜೈಗಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ಎರಡೂ ಕೂಡ ರಿಸೆಸಿವ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ವೇರ್ ದ ರಿಸೆಸಿವ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. See, this becomes a dark plant. See, ಇದು homozygous condition, ಇದು homozygous condition, ಇದು homozygous tall, ಇದು homozygous short or dark. ಇದು heterozygous tall, heterozygous tall. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ law of dominance ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ. Law of dominance, when two factors responsible for same character come together, one will express, one will suppress. This is about the monohybrid cross. law of dominancy and law of what? Segregation. One more law is there, law of independent assortment. We'll see in the next step, that is dihybrid cross. Dihybrid cross. So any doubts still here? Any doubts still here? There doubt in the case. So in the ratio phenotypic ratio, phenotypic and genotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio. So phenotypic ratio means what? Here by saying, you will think that this plant have been sowed, these seeds have been sowed, and you will see the plant. See, if these are the seeds, this plant is tall, this plant is tall, this plant is tall. So three tall plants are there and one dark plant is there. This is called as so by seeing the physical appearance of the plant, we will tell it is a tall plant, it is a short plant, it is a short plant, it is a dark plant. They help you now. Our ratio now phenotypic ratio that is called as phenotypic ratio. By looking at the physical appearance, we will decide the ratio of the plant 3:1. So this is phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio. See here, one pure tall plant is the purest tall plant. One is that two hybrids are there. Two hybrids is having both the factors of one character. See, capital T, small t. That's why it's 2. And it is having one pure tall dark plant. One pure dark plant. This ratio has to be done. Understood? Is it clear? So this is about the monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross. So one more is the checkerboard. So this representation, what is this represent? No, this representation can be done by this checkerboard. I will do it here. So checkerboard it is called as Punnett square, or we call it as Punnett square. Punnett square. So this is. So here we have to represent these gametes. So gamete produced by this one, gamete produced by this one. So capital T here, small t here, capital T here, small t here, and we have to cross this one. So this capital T becomes T, capital T, and this capital T and this small t becomes small t, capital T, and this gamete will combine with this becomes capital T, small t, and this gamete will combine with this gamete becomes T. See here. So how many pure? So genotypic ratio. See, pure plant, one tall pure plant, one dark pure plant, two hybrid. That's phenotypic ratio. Understood? So genotypic ratio is 3 tall plant, 1, 2, 3. 3 tall plant, 1 dark plant. That is 3:1 ratio. That is called as phenotypic ratio. So this is about the monohybrid cross. By the help of monohybrid cross, Mendel proposed two law of dominance and law of segregation. So one more law is that is a law of independent assortment. We will see in the next class by knowing the dihybrid cross. So if you have any doubt, you can ask tomorrow. You come to the school. So come to the school without fail. Everyone come to the school. Don't tell any reasons. Maybe some of you may have fever, cough today evening itself. It may start. I don't know how many of you suffer from fever and cough. I pray God that nobody will suffer from any sort of illness. Okay. So have a nice day. Thank you very much. Maths class will be there. Social class will be there. After 5 minutes, join the class. Thank you very much.